Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about the stocks that I'm watching for this upcoming week. So there's a lot going on this week with earnings, and a lot of those earnings plays are stuff that we're going to watch. So let's just run through some of the stocks that I'm looking at. First off, we always start with the overall market. That gives us a good idea of where stocks are going to go in general. If the market goes down, most stocks will go down. So let's just look at the SPY here. SPY is looking pretty good. The blue line is the 100-day moving average. So if you look, it's trying to get back there. It dropped below. We had a nice channel, and it looks like we're working our way back up. The MACD is curling positive. The RSI is moving up. In the pre-market, we're looking okay. This is for Monday the 31st. So far the SPY is looking like hopefully it's going to turn around. The Nasdaq looks very similar, right? Everything looks similar to the SPY. It did drop a little bit below the moving average, but it's still working its way in the same general direction. The Russell 2000 looks in the same position, but there's more of a downtrend here. There wasn't as much capitulation or moving sideways, trading sideways as the other two indexes. It's more like a downward movement, but it's trying to catch itself. We'll see what happens. Last time it did that over here, it fell the next day, but we gotta wait and see. So, individual stocks after some crypto. So, Bitcoin looking at a downtrending channel. It's trying to find its grip, trying to trade sideways, but continues to fall. Ethereum, same way, just a downward trend. So, I don't know. We gotta watch and see how those two will move the crypto market. But individual stocks. So Visa, very interesting to me. They did well on earnings last week, and the stock shot up. So this is what looks interesting to me. The MACD was moving, more positively, but they had great earnings. So that's what made the jump. So we went here. There was no, gradual rise in the MACD. It just went positive. So it'd be interesting to see if we're going to hold this, or if we're going to kind of come down and fill this gap. Overall, there's a downward trend here, right? But now we've broken above that. So it's really going to be interesting to see. I would give this a couple days to see kind of where Visa lands, but it's looking very interesting. If it could keep the momentum, I think that it could break out of this downward trend and move sideways or possibly even up. So Visa is one that I'm looking at. Starbucks, they have earnings coming up this week. Looks like they're starting to trade up as far as the MACD is concerned. The stock is moving sideways, trying to get back to this overall trending channel, about the 108 to 120 mark. So we're trying to get back up into that channel. Depending on how earnings go, it might start to move up there, but this is the one that I'm watching. PayPal, similar to Starbucks, they have earnings this week. What I'm looking at for PayPal is analysts believe that they're going to meet the estimates that they gave from the last quarter. So that could be a potential catalyst to move it up. Also, PayPal is kind of in the same market as Visa, right? So people see that Visa did very well and there was a jump. PayPal might get some sympathy moves towards the upside for that as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The MACD looks like it's moving to positive territory. The RSI is curling upwards. So we're looking to first get back into this channel, trading sideways before any kind of move up. But PayPal is one that I'm looking at. Netflix is a tough stock. It dropped here badly. We gave it a couple days. It's kind of held that level of support. It hasn't continued to fall. So we're kind of going sideways. It's after earnings, so we don't have that catalyst. That's already been baked in. MACD looks like it's trying to move up, but depends on if you believe in Netflix as a business. It's always been very expensive for me as far as like where it sits on the RSI and the and that kind of technical analysis. But now it's very cheap. It would have been nice back here, but I'm still looking at Netflix. Give it a day or two just to see kind of where it may add up. Google, this is another one that we're looking at here. Sideways trading. It does have earnings coming up this year. So, not this year, sorry, this week. And it's curling upwards. So that could be something that we're looking at here. I'm keeping an eye on Google. Ford, this is another very interesting one. The pattern is very consistent, right? It's traded sideways and it comes up to this new level. Then it goes sideways again. Popped, came back down, and it looks like it's trending sideways. It does have earnings coming up. So that's one thing that we got to keep in mind. The MACD looks like it's curling, but it just had a good day Friday, so it could potentially fall. But this does look like a nice level of support. So as long as the earnings go well, I would look to see it trading sideways and possibly coming back up. But this is one that's very interesting to watch. AbbVie. So this is another interesting one. We got earnings this week. It's already moving upwards, but it's at a great level here. It's at all-time highs. So it looked like it hit it once here, this like 137 level. Then it came back down, tried it again, came back down, came up to 137 again, bounced down. Now we're at 137 again. So we're at all-time highs, but depending on how these earnings go, and I could see it shooting up, right? Because if we break all-time highs with a good catalyst in the earnings, you can already see the MACD is starting to try to go positive. The RSI is curling. So there's a lot of momentum here moving upwards. So between that momentum and a good earnings, we could potentially see it break this all-time high and just shoot up. I'm not really sure where it goes at that point because there is no level of resistance. But keep in mind, too, the market is irrational. So even if it does have all this momentum upwards and the earnings are good, people could see that as a selling signal, right? You want to take profits while it's at its all-time high. So it could potentially fall. We really don't know. But either way, AbbVie is looking good to me as far as watching for the week. So keep that in mind. Again, this is not financial advice, just financial opinions, because like I mentioned, we could see a movement up or a movement down. It's really, nobody knows at this point. And the last stock up here is Apple. So Apple had great earnings last week. It brought the whole market up with it. Big gap over here. It was in this upward trending channel. Previously it fell down. It hit our 100-day moving average, bounced up on the good earnings. MACD is moving up. So we're trying to get back into this upward trending channel. And this is one that I think with the great earnings, we might have another couple days of upward movement, but we shall see. But anyway, guys, that's the video for today. What stocks are you guys looking at? What earnings are you looking at this week? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks, and I'll see you guys on the next one.